Okay, let's get right into it because this isn't just some minor update. This is a seismic shift. We're talking about a fundamental change in how SEO works. Everything you thought you knew about ranking on Google, it's about to be turned on its head. The game has been rigged for years, and someone just leaked the entire rulebook to the world. For years, people in the SEO community have had these suspicions, right? We've run the tests, we've looked at the data, and we've been told we're chasing ghosts. Google's own people have patted us on the head and said, no, that's not how it works. Well, this quote from Big Tomwa just says it all. The so-called conspiracy theorists, turns out they were right all along. Does this sound familiar? You're doing everything you're supposed to. You're writing great content, you're building links, but that traffic graph just keeps pointing down and to the right. It feels like you're screaming into the wind. Well, listen, it's not your fault. You've been playing by the rules they told us about, not the rules they actually use. So what happened? In May of 2024, the floodgates just burst open. An internal document from Google's Content Warehouse API got leaked, and we are talking about 14,014 specific attributes. These are the literal building blocks of the ranking algorithm. This isn't just a peek behind the curtain. The whole curtain's been ripped to shreds. And I really need you to understand this. This isn't another correlation study from some SEO guru. This is not a theory. This is the source documentation. It's the blueprint. It is the closest any of us have ever come to holding the actual Google algorithm in our hands. All right, let's dive into the first bombshell. For years, maybe decades, the biggest debate has been, does Google use user clicks to rank websites? And their official answer, over and over, was a very firm no. They said it was too noisy, too easy to game. Well, that was a flat-out lie. Everybody meet Navboost. This is the system that proves clicks aren't just a small factor. They might be one of the most important factors. It's an entire system built to log, analyze, and use your clicks from the last 13 months to reshuffle the search results. What you do after you click on a link, it matters. It matters a lot. And see, it's not just about getting a click. Navboost is way more sophisticated than that. A good click where someone stays on your page, that's great. But a bad click where a user hits your page and immediately bounces back to Google, that's a huge negative signal. The absolute holy grail, though, is the last longest click. That tells Google your page was so good you solved their problem completely. They didn't have to go back and search for anything else. That's the jackpot. So here's the bottom line. Keywords, they just get you in the game. They get your page shown to people. But it's these user signals, these clicks, that decide if you actually win. If your content is boring or doesn't deliver what it promised, Navboost will see those bad clicks and it will bear you. I don't care how perfect your keyword optimization is. Look, trying to rank now without understanding this is like flying an airplane completely blind. You're up against a system that is literally designed to punish bad user experience. You need a new playbook, period. Big Toa, the analyst who broke all this down, put together a guide that explains exactly how to create content that gets those positive signals. To master this, you have to check the link in the description right now, https://bigtoa.gumroad.com/lower Google ranking factors. Okay, on to the next shocker. And this is another one that Google has publicly denied for over a decade. You know the idea of domain authority, a single score for your whole website? They always told us, oh, that's just a third-party metric. We don't use that. And there it is, in black and white, right there in their own documentation, a variable literally named siteAuthority. The code does not lie. Google absolutely 100% calculates a site-wide authority score. All those veteran SEOs who swore it was real, vindicated. This changes your entire strategy. It means that the old saying, content is king, is only half the story. If your site has a low site authority score, you could write the single greatest article on planet Earth, and it will still get outranked by some mediocre article from a site with high authority. Your site's reputation can completely overpower the quality of a single page. Think about that. Without a clear strategy to build your site's authority, you are wasting your time. You are literally just throwing content into the void. You need a roadmap. The Google Ranking Factors Guide lays out the entire strategy for building this kind of authority. I'm serious, you need to check the link in the show notes right now, http://bigtoa.gumroad.com/l/Google Ranking Factors. All right, brace yourself, because if those first two things were shocking, this one is, well, it's frankly terrifying. We were always told there was a hard wall between Google Search and Google Chrome for privacy. Turns out, that wall is made of glass. Inside the leak, there are modules with names like Chrome in total. The implication here is absolutely staggering. It suggests Google is using browsing data from its billions of Chrome users to judge your website. This goes so far beyond what happens during a Google search. This is everything. Just think about what this means. Google can see if you're a real brand that gets traffic from Facebook or Twitter or email. It knows if you're just some generic site that only gets traffic from SEO. It can see if people bookmark your pages. It knows how they interact with your website, even if they never, ever found you on Google. So if your whole strategy has been to build these faceless, anonymous SEO sites, you are sitting on a ticking time bomb. The only way to survive is to build a real brand that people trust. The guide we've been talking about is the best resource I've seen on how to do that. To secure your future, the link is in the description. https://bigtoa.gumroad.com/L/Google ranking factors. So we've just walked through 3 revelations that change the entire game. Navboost, siteAuthority, Chrome data. This isn't a theory anymore. The proof is out there for everyone to see. And that leaves you, right now, with a very, very simple choice. The map to the treasure has been leaked. For the first time ever, we actually know what Google is looking for. The question is no longer what does Google want? The question now is, what are you going to do about it? You really have 2 paths forward. You can choose denial, stick your head in the sand, use the old methods, and just hope for the best. Or you can choose adaptation. Take this new information, get the playbook, and build a real strategy. It's the difference between guessing and knowing, between bleeding out and growing. Look, the algorithm is just math. And for the first time, we have the formula. What you do with that information is up to you, but the clock is ticking. For those of you who are ready to adapt, the resource you need is linked right there in the description. Thanks for listening.